everyone, so today's video is quite an exciting one for me. I have finally made it to level 25 on my new server and I'm ready to start raking in that gold. Unfortunately, it's also my first week back in the office, so time is absolutely not on my side right now. I've also been spending my gold at a bit of a crazy rate since leveling, as I want to be ready for Black Fathom Deeps as soon as possible, and I'm sure everyone knows that feeling. So I'm going to be combining my quest for Big Riches with my phase 2 preparation, and I'm going to show you some things to stock up on, and also if you overstock, then get ready to sell to others too. So what we have is a really good vendor. He isn't overcamped right now, probably because he is situated in a terrifying location surrounded by elite ogres, which is great. And this guy is up in Alterac. He is an alchemy vendor and he sells you the good mana potions and also the recipe for frost oil. The mana potions are a fantastic sell now item as you can't currently make them using alchemy and they're the best ones currently usable. The frost oil recipe though is super important. This vendor is the only place in game you can get this recipe. Now, this recipe is important because it's required to be handed in for a really neat little quest in Badlands. So not the recipe itself, I mean the frost oil when you make it. Now, the quest rewards a trinket, which while it won't be as in demand in Season of Discovery as it usually is in Classic, it will still be in demand and it's an easy hand-in quest chain, so it's going to be popular for people leveling. Generally in Classic, it's one of the first, easiest trinkets to get hold of, but in Season of Discovery, we do already have some. That being said, it's still got a really good on use and it's still likely to be used. Just, it's situational. So you need to hand in a frost oil in order to get your trinket. You'll also need a gyrotroniton, healing potion, lesser invisibility potion, and patterned bronze braces. If you're feeling organized, you can go and collect up those items too while you're at it. So the gyrotroniton is sold at engineering vendors all over the place. You can definitely buy a bunch of these to sell in phase 2. Remember, people still buy fishing laws and chrono booms from the auction house. They definitely aren't keeping lists of what's available at the engineering guy. Healing potion is another alchemy one, craftable now. Lesser invisibility potion, this one's lent at the trainer, craftable, really easy to get. The patterned bronze braces are going for 10 silver right now on my server, so it could be a good idea to grab some of those now too. To get the frost oil recipe, it's a big run. If you have Holly, you can do the mount trick, but that's a bit too easy for me, so I'm going to run slowly, all the way. I went up through wetlands, stopped off at Arathi Basin to get the flight point, and then stopped again in South Shore. Now, in South Shore, I've checked for the plus 100 fishing laws at the vendor. There were none, and also I need to level my fishing this week, one of the biggest pains of starting fresh right there. On the way through Hillsblad, try your luck to find the wandering trading goods guy. If you get him, he's got a limited formula for enchanting. It's plus 1 agility on boots. It sells for a pretty good markup on Alliance and it's hard to camp as he moves, so it's a good one to chase. On Horde, you can just camp the Thunder Bluff vendor if you want it. This vendor also sells the recipe Elixir of Colossal Regret. This should net you upwards of 20 silver and always sells fast. The Earthen Shoulders I avoid because it doesn't seem to have much profit there. And the schematic Goblin Jumper Cables as well, and ready for phase 2. They seem to be giving you about 50 to 60 silver profit. So once you're all vended up in South Shore, you can leave Hillsbrad and head up to Alterac. There is a spirit healer marked on my map, but every death I had in Alterac, of which there were many, took me all the way back to Hillsbrad. Bolstered by the idea of a spirit healer right next to the vendor, I went directly north, but instead you can take this safer route. So my route saw me die approximately 5 times, and I also died twice outside Torren Mill. But if you take the safer route that I'm marking right now, then you can probably get away with just the 1 death maximum. The vendor you're looking for, he is at the top of the wall. There's a wee ramp that you can just run up. It's a safe spot, but none of the ogres aggro you from up here. The guy isn't being camped very much right now, but this is the best time to do it. When you get your recipe frost oil, you should choose whether you want the gold right now or you want to hold on to it for phase 2. At the start of phase 2, once people are questing, demand for frost oil and so the recipe for frost oil will both peak. At the same time, less people will be willing to travel to the vendor and wait for the recipe. Time in game is going to be more precious at that point. So if you sell your recipe now, you can make about 2 gold profit. If you hold on to it though, you can make 5, 6, 7 or even 8 gold profit. Now, at the start, I said I recommended that you do this towards the end of the day. This was because if the recipe isn't there, it's a great idea to just log out in place and then log back in to check it before you go to work or whatever you're doing in the morning. I did this, so I logged back in at 7 a.m. I got my recipe, and then 4 minutes later, a second one spawned. This vendor also sells mana potions. They're stocked in stacks of 3, and so they should net you around 2 gold profit if you see them. I didn't, but I was only there for about 20 minutes before I logged off, and then 5 minutes when I logged back in. So after I'm done, when you're ready to play again, take a run back to South Shore just to check on the Wandering Vendor one last time for the +1 agility on boots, and then I just head back. So my plan is to sell one and hold one. I'm going to be logging out at the autoprat vendor most nights now that I remember to do so that when phase 2 comes, I should have a nice little stock of these recipes to sell. And if I keep getting lucky with double morning spawns, I'll be making extra gold now too. So I really hope you find this useful. If you can give me a little thumbs up or subscribe if you have done, then that really helps me to see what type of content to keep doing. It's really, really appreciated. Thank you. And thanks a lot. Bye.